Welcome to your magical moon message. This is the peace dealer. Moon in Aries, Sun in Scorpio. This is a very important transit, y'all. The sixth house to the Sun in Scorpio is integration and preparation to the full moon. And so what this transit gives you is a very keen, receptive understanding and insight into primarily your identity and how who you are right now has transformed. The sun is 8 houses from the moon and the moon is 6 houses from the sun. And so you're going to understand the raw individuality that's gone into how you're integrating this transformed character into your lifestyle. And as such, Aries represents the individual actions that you take, which define the character of your behavior relative to the Scorpio psychological perspective and energy. And so this is a really important game-changing transit, because what this is going to do is realistically put you in a position, now that you've activated the new moon cycle and now that you've had the square, in order to integrate who you are, now that you have, of course, transformed. And the understanding of yourself is going to be so felt and pronounced in the confidence of your actions. You know who you are a lot more, but it's going to really feel like it. A lot of you have had insight and synchronicities, or maybe even resistance in accepting who you've evolved into or who you've always been. And a transit like this will make this, it's not about being comfortable in your comfort zone, but just more accepting and understanding of the identity of who you are. And for a lot of you, that's going to feel good, because you're going to be able to bring that into the energy with which you deal with other people. Word of caution though, what happens is, especially when people, have these faiths and beliefs, the cognitive dissonance that they express, because they're not really saying anything based in reality. A lot of what people speak on is faith-based. It's not based on reality. It's based on what they believe. And so you see a lot of these faith-based practitioners who put their faith in, once again, something that's not based on reality. Regardless, it's just based on what they feel about it. And so this produces cognitive dissonance, where basically they're going to purport certain narratives, and if what you do goes against it, it's going to make them feel uneasy, because they don't base what they're doing on reality. Oh, Goat Man. I love that. I just see the license plate called Goat Man. It's synchronicities, baby. It's not based on reality. It's based on their beliefs. So keep that in mind, because especially when you have people proclaiming things that are not based on reality but on their beliefs, it's shaky, it's not solid, it's basically off of faith. You should never have to take someone off of faith. We're in an information age of knowledge. If they can't break it down factually, you need to question what they're pushing you to feel guilty about. I say that because, once again, you want to be very mindful of these people, whether they're scientists and they're saying it's pseudoscientific, or whether they're religious and they're saying it's of the devil. You really need to be clear here. This is not opinion-based. When I say that astrology is a science and a language, okay, I'm not saying this because I'm biased and because I feel like I'm preferring it more. This is factually speaking here. People who kind of bring these criticisms, ask them, do they have any experience reading this? Do they have any actually knowledge in this? Most people who say that it's pseudoscientific or evil, they don't. So you just need to keep that in mind. One will tell you to have faith in the way they believe, but offer no facts, which is the hugest red flag. Ask them to prove it. They'll just say, just have faith, just believe. There's nothing based in truth or reality on that. That's deception. That's Age of Pisces deception. And then you have, of course, critics who may flex that it's pseudoscientific. All bullshit. And just something to keep in mind. What I'm saying that applies to astrology applies to what you're going through. This is going to help you break through in the understanding of yourself and your identity as a complex individual who, of course, is processing this life and reality with your own unique perspectives and your own individuality. This is everything that in your integration of the Scorpio cycle is going to promote even more transformation as you break through this all. And please keep in mind that this full moon in Aries is, I know the haircut looks fresh. This full moon, this moon in Aries is preparing you for the full moon in Taurus, which is going to complete this cycle. We're going to step into harvest. A lot of you are going to break through financially. A lot of you are going to break through energetically. And this is going to prepare you for the ascension transit of a lifetime coming into Sagittarius season. So I want you to really point out the hypocrisy in so many people. Certain people with one mouth will say that they're, for example, Christian, but the moment you disagree with them, they start to exhibit toxicity in their behavior that is anything but Christian. And that's because these people just pay lip service. To them, it's about talking it. They don't really walk it, because that's really all they've ever exhibited in their life. These people are struggling to actually find some aspect of truth. And I don't want to single out Christians. This applies to way more people, but I'm just letting you know, with Neptune that is still in Pisces, the delusional quality of people who swear they know what they're talking about, but don't, is only going to rise. Okay, like this phenomenon isn't going anywhere. And so you need to anchor yourself in the reality of who you are, because people have beliefs, but your actions define your character. And that's way less debatable. What you did yesterday is what you did yesterday, regardless of what you believe. Let that shape the character that will integrate this transformation of your being. Yeah, people can react strongly or negatively to you, but what are they doing to express about it? You'll find that as strongly as people feel, they don't do anything, because they're powerless to do anything, because nothing real can be threatened. That's a fact. So keep that in mind. Let your actions talk more than your words. If anyone has an issue, for example, with me, I'm looking to what they do, not to what they say, not to who they said to what. What did they do? Because that's going to let me know who they are and who I'm dealing with. And I don't have time to waste with cowards. Okay, so keep that in mind. You're going to be more receptive to the authentic, raw nature of people's characters. This is a raw, authentic wisdom transit that is going to really key you into the nature of people's characters. And don't sugarcoat stuff for people. Yeah, you might have that crush. Yeah, you might actually be connected to someone who's very awesome. But what are their actions telling you about who they are and how much they prioritize whatever understanding they have of you and the relationship? Do not make excuses for people, especially yourself, because this transit will not only key you into that potential, but whether you're wasting your time or not. And chances are you're wasting your goddamn time. Stop wasting your goddamn time. Okay. Other than that, this is going to open the doorway, because with this 6th, 8th house transit, it's bringing integration and transformation. This is going to open the doorway for how you express your identity and your understanding of your identity, with the Sun in Scorpio awareness of transforming your social connections with other people. And so I can't understate, or I can't state enough how important this transit is really, because what this is really going to facilitate is a very important sense, once again, realistically, of how powerfully you're in a position to realistically continue this transformation transit. But once again, be very clear on how to understand who you are through this. What is the identity? And some of you have not fully stepped into that like you will fully step into that today. It is a raw feeling. It is not an intellectual Libra moon feeling. It is not an emotional feeling. It is a instinctual raw feeling with how you react and respond to everything. So who you have understood yourself to be up until now, react and respond like that, and let that transform your relationships with other people. Amazing insights that are going to be had. And I think this is going to be one of the more empowering transits of this Scorpio season. Understand that what's also transforming is your understanding of who you know yourself to be, which will enable more empowerment, provided you are sticking with authenticity. As the moon goes over Chiron, this is going to, of course, challenge certain wounds. And we have to keep this in mind, because Venus has entered 8 degrees and Chiron is retrograde 8 degrees. And so this is triggering action in relationships to force authenticity, or to, point out a lack thereof, especially in relationship to the integrity of relationships forming. Don't let people fucking play you. Like, I don't know what else to say. Don't let people play you. Know your worth. know your time. I feel like some of you have to make excuses for other people. Stop fucking playing yourself like that. If people are being trash, if people are honoring or valuing the way they are, call it out or move on. It is what it is. Don't stick too long to it. There's billions of people in this world, and you know, you shouldn't have to explain to another person why they should value you and explain how they should value you. People innately know these things. You wouldn't have to really explain this to someone that already values something. So keep that in mind. This is the wisdom of Scorpio. We don't necessarily have to draw things out. And as you move forward and embolden, allow people to have their dumbass opinions. Allow people to think what they want. That's what they're here for. They do whatever. But it's up to you to maintain that trueness and authenticity and integrity of self. Honestly, once again, the next couple days is going to be really awesome, especially when we think about the quincunxes the moon will make that will challenge how will you integrate all this. Okay, you're integrating intimately very powerful realizations and understanding of you, and this is going to add more to your awakening as the moon will square Pluto, and as it sextiles Aquarius, this will make you more receptive to where that identity belongs and how much more intensely it does too. Regarding superpowers, because we're integrating this new transformation, this is going to give you the insight of how to do that relative to how you understand who you are. So y'all stay blessed as always. And until next time, show me some love on my new haircut. I'm gonna start looking sexy for y'all. And until next time.